Do you feel like you're growing spiritually but still find it hard to connect with people around you? You're not the only one. Spiritual growth is like walking a path filled with light and shadows. While it can open your eyes to a deeper understanding of the world around you, it also brings challenges that are not easy to bear. The more you understand life's deeper truths, the more you realize how complex and sometimes heavy they can be. Spiritual growth isn't just about feeling enlightened. It's also about facing the struggles that come with seeing the world for what it truly is. Highly spiritual people often encounter harsh realities that test their resolve, but these same challenges shape them into stronger, more conscious beings. Throughout this journey, there are certain truths that many will struggle with, but in time, these very struggles transform into growth. These 7 truths, while difficult, have the power to shift perspectives and lead to profound personal change. Let's look into these truths that shape the path of those who walk the spiritual way. Number 1. The existential crisis. Spiritual growth often brings with it an existential crisis, a moment when everything you thought you knew about life and yourself begins to unravel. This is sometimes called the dark night of the soul, and it's a stage that many spiritual seekers experience. It feels like a time of deep confusion, where the old comforts and beliefs no longer hold meaning. The world around you seems to shift, and the very ground beneath you feels uncertain. This isn't just emotional discomfort. It's a profound shake-up of your inner world, forcing you to confront the deeper questions of existence. Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? These questions can lead to feelings of isolation, as it seems like no one else understands what you're going through. However, this existential crisis is not a dead end. It's a necessary process of spiritual growth. It strips away illusions and forces you to look within, to seek answers not from the outside world, but from the depths of your own consciousness. Though painful, it is this very struggle that leads to a stronger, more awakened understanding of life. This stage of existential crisis doesn't just make you question the nature of life. It forces you to reflect on your own identity and life purpose. Everything you once thought defined you, your job, relationships, even your beliefs, comes under scrutiny. You may find yourself asking, who am I really? And what am I meant to do with my life? These questions can feel unsettling, as they shake the very foundation of your existence. But this process of questioning is not only natural, it's essential. It's through this deep, internal reflection that you begin to peel away the layers of who you thought you were, making way for a clearer understanding of your true self. This phase, though difficult, is a necessary step toward greater awareness. It allows you to shed outdated identities and beliefs that no longer serve you, leading you closer to a more authentic version of yourself. Ultimately, this crisis becomes a catalyst for transformation, pushing you toward a deeper understanding of your place in the world. Facing this crisis head-on is crucial because it's the only way to uncover deeper meaning and inner strength. Avoiding or suppressing these difficult questions only prolongs the discomfort, but by confronting them, you allow yourself to break through to a new level of understanding. It's in these moments of doubt and confusion that you begin to see the world and your role in it with greater clarity. The existential crisis strips away the superficial, leaving behind what truly matters. This is where real spiritual growth happens, when you no longer shy away from the tough questions, but instead embrace them as part of your journey. During this stage, many spiritual seekers feel lost, unsure of where to turn as their old perspectives no longer hold up. Life can feel disorienting, like walking through a fog with no clear path in sight. But this disorientation isn't without purpose. It's preparing you for something greater. In the midst of the confusion, your soul is being primed for a deeper, more profound truth. Although it may seem like everything is falling apart, you're actually being reshaped, strengthened, and guided toward a higher understanding that will eventually emerge from this period of uncertainty. Number 2, the complexity of truth. On the spiritual path, one of the first realizations is that truth is rarely as straightforward as we might hope. As you begin to see the world from a deeper, more spiritual perspective, you start to notice that what seems true in one situation may not hold in another. This is where the paradoxes of the spiritual journey come into play. You may find that two seemingly opposing ideas can both be true depending on how you look at them. For example, you might feel deeply connected to the material world and yet realize that true peace comes from detachment. Or you may experience moments where life feels both incredibly meaningful and utterly meaningless at the same time. This complexity can be difficult to navigate, especially when we're used to thinking in terms of black and white, right and wrong. The deeper you go, the more you realize that truth is often layered and multifaceted. Something that feels profoundly true on a spiritual level may seem irrelevant or even contradictory when viewed from a purely physical or emotional standpoint. This doesn't mean that one is wrong and the other is right. It simply means that truth, like life itself, is fluid and adaptable, shaped by the context in which it is experienced. Understanding this can be unsettling at first, as it challenges the mind's need for certainty and clarity. But accepting the complexity of truth is a necessary part of spiritual growth. It encourages you to remain open to new perspectives and to embrace the idea that certainty is not always possible or even desirable. This openness leads to greater humility and allows for a more expansive, evolving understanding of the world. What may be true on one level of existence might not apply on another, and this realization is central to the complexity of the spiritual journey. For instance, the truths we live by in our physical everyday world, such as the need for security, success, and achievement, might lose their significance when viewed from a spiritual perspective. In the material world, we often prioritize goals like career advancement or accumulating wealth, and while these might seem essential for stability in daily life, they might hold little meaning in the context of spiritual growth, where the focus shifts toward inner peace, detachment, and fulfillment from within. Similarly, what feels like a crisis or a loss in the physical realm might, on a deeper spiritual level, be an opportunity for growth and transformation. A relationship that ends, for example, might seem like a failure in the physical sense, but spiritually it could be the very thing needed to evolve into a more authentic version of yourself. The challenges we face often appear negative on the surface, yet they carry lessons and truths that only reveal themselves over time. This duality reflects the layers of reality that we operate within. While one truth might guide our actions in the physical world, a completely different set of principles might govern our spiritual existence. The key to navigating these different levels is understanding that neither is more valid than the other. They coexist, each with its own purpose. Embracing this idea allows us to approach life with more flexibility, recognizing that truth is not fixed but fluid, shifting with our perspective and level of awareness. In the midst of grappling with the complexities of truth, another important distinction emerges: the difference between personal truth and universal truth. Personal truth is shaped by our unique experiences, perspectives, and inner growth. It's the understanding we come to based on our own journey, lessons, and realizations. What feels deeply true to one person may not resonate with someone else because each spiritual journey is deeply individual. For example, someone might find their truth in solitude and introspection, while another may discover theirs through community and relationships. Both are valid, even if they seem contradictory. On the other hand, universal truth transcends individual experiences. It refers to the core principles that underpin existence and spirituality, truths that apply to all beings, regardless of their personal circumstances. These might include the impermanence of all things, the interconnectedness of life, or the idea that love and compassion are central to spiritual growth. Universal truths are like guiding stars, offering a foundation that runs deeper than personal preferences or temporary circumstances. The interplay between personal and universal truths means that as we grow spiritually, our understanding of reality becomes more nuanced. Each person's path reveals different truths that are specific to their journey, and these personal insights lead them closer to understanding the larger, universal principles that govern us all. Recognizing this helps us remain open-minded, appreciating that while we each walk a different path, those paths are all part of a greater whole, leading us towards shared wisdom and connection. Embracing uncertainty is a vital part of the spiritual journey, and learning to live with doubt can lead to profound personal growth. In a world that often craves certainty and clear answers, spiritual seekers must become comfortable with the unknown. Doubt is not something to fear or avoid. In fact, it can be one of the most powerful tools for growth. When you begin to question everything, your beliefs, your purpose, the nature of reality, you open yourself up to deeper levels of understanding. Doubt forces you to go beyond the surface and challenge the assumptions you've carried, pushing you into a space where real transformation can occur. Rather than clinging to what you think you know, embracing uncertainty allows you to stay open to new perspectives and insights. It helps break down the rigid structures of the mind that can limit your growth. By accepting that some things may never have definite answers, you develop humility and patience, qualities that are essential for spiritual development. Doubt, when approached with curiosity rather than fear, becomes a doorway to new possibilities. It keeps you questioning, seeking, and expanding your consciousness, leading you to deeper truths that might otherwise remain hidden. Number 3. Difficulty in finding love. For spiritual individuals, the search for love goes beyond the ordinary, everyday connections that many people might settle for. It's not just about companionship or romance, but about finding a deep, soulful bond that resonates on a much higher level. Spiritual people often seek a connection that transcends the physical and emotional, one that aligns with the essence of their soul. They long for a partner who understands that love is not merely an emotion or attraction, but a sacred energetic exchange. This kind of love touches the core of who they are and brings out the highest version of themselves. Casual encounters or surface-level relationships often feel hollow to those on a spiritual path because they desire something much more profound, a partnership that mirrors their inner journey. They want to connect with someone who shares their values, someone who understands the importance of growth, consciousness, and alignment. This yearning for a deeper connection can make the search for love challenging, as it requires patience, discernment, and sometimes a sense of isolation when others around them seem content with shallower relationships. Yet, for the spiritually awakened, anything less than this soulful connection simply won't satisfy. The search for deeper, soulful love can often feel isolating for highly spiritual people. As they awaken to a higher level of consciousness, they realize that not everyone is on the same wavelength. While they long for a connection that resonates with their spiritual essence, they may find themselves surrounded by people who are content with more surface-level relationships. This can create a sense of loneliness, as the kind of love they seek, one rooted in shared values, spiritual growth, and deep emotional connection, seems rare and hard to find. For those on a spiritual path, it's not just about finding someone who is compatible on a physical or emotional level. They seek a partner who can walk alongside them on their journey of self-discovery and spiritual awakening, someone who can meet them where they are and grow with them. This search for a higher connection often means that casual relationships no longer hold meaning, and the process of finding a true spiritual match can feel long and isolating. Yet while this path may be lonely at times, it's a necessary step to finding the love that truly aligns with their soul's calling. The journey to finding deep, soulful love often begins with cultivating self-love. For highly spiritual individuals, it's essential to nurture their own inner light before they can attract a meaningful relationship. When you truly understand and appreciate your own worth, you create an energy that draws others to you, people who resonate with the depth and authenticity that you carry within. Self-love forms the foundation for any relationship, as it helps you recognize what you truly need and deserve from a partner. By embracing your inner self, you not only attract love that reflects your highest values, but also strengthen your ability to give and receive love without losing your sense of self. This inner work requires patience. The spiritual path teaches that everything unfolds in divine timing, and this includes love. Trusting that the universe has its own timing for when you're ready to meet your soulmate is crucial. While it might be tempting to rush the process or settle for less, true love often arrives when you've done the necessary work within yourself. Having faith that the right connection will come when the time is right allows you to remain open and receptive without feeling desperate or discouraged. In the meantime, self-love becomes a beacon that shines, guiding the right person toward you when both of you are aligned and ready. Number 4. The reality of suffering. Suffering is an unavoidable part of life, and for those on a spiritual path, it becomes an essential part of their growth. No matter how much one advances spiritually, pain and hardship remain constant companions in the human experience. It's through suffering that we are often pushed to question, reflect, and ultimately grow. While the idea of a life free from suffering may seem ideal, the truth is that challenges and struggles are what force us to evolve, shedding old beliefs and uncovering deeper truths about ourselves. Spiritual growth does not exempt anyone from suffering. Instead, it teaches us how to approach it with greater awareness. Rather than resisting or avoiding pain, highly spiritual individuals learn to see suffering as a teacher. It's a reminder of the impermanence of life, the fragility of the human condition, and the interconnectedness of all beings. In facing suffering head-on, we come to understand its role in breaking down the ego and softening the heart, allowing for greater compassion, empathy, and understanding. Though suffering is painful, it holds the potential for deep transformation, guiding us toward a more profound sense of purpose and meaning in life. Suffering, while painful, can serve as one of life's greatest teachers. It has a way of stripping us down to our core, revealing parts of ourselves we might otherwise overlook. In these moments of hardship, we are given the opportunity to learn lessons that would be difficult to grasp in times of ease. Suffering teaches us patience, resilience, and most importantly, compassion. When we experience pain, we become more attuned to the suffering of others, allowing us to develop empathy not only for those around us, but also for ourselves. Through suffering, we begin to see the shared humanity in all of us, the recognition that we are all vulnerable, all subject to life's unpredictable challenges. This realization opens the door to deeper compassion, softening our hearts and making us more understanding toward others who are also struggling. It also teaches us to be kinder to ourselves as we learn to forgive our own mistakes and imperfections. In this way, suffering is not just an unfortunate part of life. It's a crucial element of spiritual growth, guiding us toward greater empathy and helping us connect with the world on a more compassionate level. Suffering can act as a powerful mirror, reflecting back to us the hidden fears and unresolved emotions that often lie beneath the surface. When we encounter pain or hardship, it brings to light the parts of ourselves that we might have suppressed or ignored, the insecurities, fears, or emotional wounds that we haven't yet addressed. In this way, suffering reveals what needs to be healed within us. It forces us to confront these deeper layers of our psyche, showing us where we are holding on to old beliefs, past hurts, or unacknowledged feelings. Rather than avoiding these emotions, spiritual growth teaches us to face them with awareness and acceptance. By acknowledging our suffering instead of resisting it, we open the door to transformation. It is through this acceptance that healing begins. When we stop fighting against our pain and instead allow it to teach us, we find the strength to release what no longer serves us. This process of embracing suffering with awareness leads to profound personal growth as we transform old wounds into new insights and deeper understanding. Suffering, then, becomes not just a burden to bear, but a catalyst for healing and spiritual evolution. Number 5, the challenge of letting go. Spiritual growth often demands the difficult task of letting go of attachments, desires, and past experiences that no longer serve your personal evolution. We tend to cling to things that bring comfort or a sense of identity, whether it's relationships, material possessions, or even old beliefs. However, as you move forward on a spiritual path, you begin to realize that holding on to these things can keep you stuck in patterns that limit your growth. Letting go is about releasing the need to control outcomes and allowing life to unfold as it's meant to. This process of releasing can be painful because it involves stepping away from the familiar and into the unknown. The ego naturally resists letting go as it is deeply attached to the security found in old habits and past experiences. But as challenging as it is, letting go is essential for making space for new experiences, perspectives, and opportunities that align with your higher self. By releasing what no longer serves you, whether it's a toxic relationship, a limiting belief, or an outdated desire, you free yourself to evolve and expand spiritually. It's in this act of surrender that real growth occurs, allowing you to step into a more authentic and liberated version of yourself. Letting go requires a deep sense of trust, trusting the universe, trusting the process, and ultimately trusting yourself to navigate the unknown. As you release attachments and desires that no longer serve your spiritual growth, it's natural to feel uncertain and even fearful of what lies ahead. The ego craves control and predictability, but the spiritual path asks you to surrender that need and place your faith in the unfolding of life. Trusting the universe means believing that everything is happening as it should, even when the way forward isn't clear. This trust extends to the process of letting go itself. It's about understanding that by releasing the old, you are making room for new growth and possibilities, things that you might not be able to see or understand just yet. Trusting yourself is equally important. It means believing in your own ability to handle whatever comes next, knowing that your inner wisdom and resilience will guide you through. When you trust in this larger flow, you find the courage to let go, knowing that what is meant for you will come in its own time, and that the path ahead will reveal itself step by step. This faith in the process allows you to move forward with grace, even in uncertainty. Letting go opens the door to new possibilities and personal freedom, allowing you to grow in ways that were previously blocked by old attachments. When you release the grip on things that no longer serve your highest good, whether it's a past hurt, a limiting belief, or a relationship that has run its course, you create space for new experiences and opportunities to enter your life. This act of surrender doesn't just free you from the weight of the past, it also opens you up to the limitless potential of what's to come. As you let go, you step into a more expansive state of being, where growth and transformation can flourish without the constraints of outdated patterns or emotional baggage. A key element in this process is forgiveness, both of yourself and others. Holding on to resentment, guilt, or regret keeps you tethered to the past, making it difficult to move forward. By forgiving others for their wrongs and yourself for any mistakes, you release the emotional weight that holds you back. Forgiveness isn't about excusing harmful behavior, but rather about freeing yourself from the pain that comes with holding on. It's an act of self-liberation that clears the path for deeper healing and greater inner peace, making it possible for you to embrace new opportunities and move forward with a lighter, more open heart. Number 6. The work of self-reflection. Self-reflection is an essential part of spiritual growth, and it often leads to the deeper, more challenging work known as shadow work. This process involves looking inward with honesty and confronting the parts of yourself that are often hidden, your fears, insecurities, and the emotions you've pushed aside. It's not easy, as it requires you to face aspects of yourself that you may not want to acknowledge. Yet this inner work is necessary for spiritual seekers because it allows for true growth and transformation. Shadow work isn't about rejecting or condemning these darker parts of yourself. Instead, it's about understanding them, recognizing how they have influenced your actions and beliefs, and ultimately integrating them into a more complete sense of self. By facing your shadow, you gain insight into why you react in certain ways, where your fears come from, and how past wounds might still be affecting you. This process brings you closer to wholeness, as it allows you to accept and heal those parts of yourself that you've kept in the dark. In this way, self-reflection is not just about observing your thoughts and emotions, but about going deeper into the core of who you are, transforming your weaknesses into strengths and your wounds into wisdom. A key part of self-reflection and shadow work is integration, accepting both the light and the dark aspects of yourself as part of your whole being. It's easy to embrace the parts of ourselves that we're proud of, the kindness, the love, the strengths we show to the world. But real spiritual growth comes from acknowledging that the darker parts, our fears, insecurities, and flaws, are just as important. These shadow aspects are not something to be rejected or hidden away. They are part of the complete picture of who we are. True integration involves recognizing that these darker elements serve a purpose. They've shaped our experiences, taught us lessons, and helped us survive difficult situations. By accepting them, you move closer to a balanced sense of self, where all parts are valued and understood. This acceptance doesn't mean you are ruled by your fears or insecurities. It means you understand them and allow them to exist without shame. When you can embrace both your light and your dark, you create space for greater inner harmony, allowing yourself to grow in a way that feels authentic and whole. This integration brings a sense of inner peace, knowing that all parts of you, both the strengths and the struggles, are equally valid and part of your journey. Engaging in this inner work of self-reflection and integration leads to profound personal transformation and greater self-awareness. As you confront your hidden fears and embrace both the light and dark within, you begin to understand yourself on a deeper level. This newfound awareness shifts how you see the world and interact with it, as you are no longer weighed down by unresolved emotions or unconscious patterns. By bringing these aspects of yourself into the light, you free yourself from old habits and ways of thinking, allowing for more authentic growth. Personal transformation occurs as you move from simply reacting to life's challenges to responding with greater understanding, balance, and compassion. However, this process is not a one-time event. It's ongoing and becomes a continuous part of your spiritual journey. Self-reflection and shadow work aren't things you complete. They are lifelong practices that evolve as you do. Each layer of awareness you gain uncovers new insights and areas for growth, constantly guiding you toward deeper levels of understanding. As you move forward, this inner work becomes a crucial part of your spiritual path, shaping you into a more conscious, whole being. The spiritual journey is endless, and the work of self-reflection remains an essential tool for navigating it with clarity and purpose. Number 7, the endless journey. Spiritual growth is not a destination to be reached, or a final state of enlightenment to be achieved. Instead, it is an ever-evolving journey, constantly unfolding with new lessons, insights, and opportunities for transformation. The path of spiritual growth is like the flow of a river, always moving, changing, and shifting with each experience. Just when you think you've reached a certain level of understanding, life presents new challenges or reveals deeper truths, showing you that there is always more to learn and explore. This realization can be both humbling and liberating. It frees you from the pressure of arriving at some ultimate state of perfection, allowing you to embrace the process itself. Each step, whether it brings joy or hardship, contributes to your continual evolution. The spiritual path invites you to keep growing, keep questioning, and keep expanding your awareness. There is no end to this journey, only ongoing opportunities for self-discovery and connection to the larger universe. The beauty of this endless journey is that it keeps life vibrant and meaningful, constantly offering the gift of growth and deeper understanding. Spiritual seekers are always in the process of becoming more of their true selves. With each new insight, challenge, or experience, they shed layers of conditioning and false identities, moving closer to the core of who they really are. This constant unfolding is what shapes their path, showing them that the journey is not about reaching a final destination, but about evolving into a more authentic version of themselves. Every difficulty faced or lesson learned brings them one step closer to their essence, deepening their understanding of themselves and the world around them. Embracing the fluidity of this journey is key to continuous learning and growth. Life is in a constant state of change, and so too is the spiritual path. By accepting that nothing is fixed or static, spiritual seekers remain open to new perspectives and possibilities, allowing themselves to grow without the constraints of rigid expectations. This openness to change fosters a sense of freedom, where growth becomes a natural, ongoing process rather than a final goal. The endless nature of the spiritual journey is, in fact, a gift. It allows for continuous evolution and deeper understanding, offering countless opportunities to refine and expand consciousness. Instead of feeling burdened by the idea of never arriving at a fixed endpoint, spiritual seekers can find joy and meaning in the ongoing discovery of their true selves. The journey is a sacred process, a gift that keeps unfolding, bringing new layers of insight and personal transformation with every step. As we reach the end of this reflection, it's important to remember that the struggles you face on your spiritual path are not burdens to bear, but stepping stones toward higher consciousness. Every challenge, every doubt, and every hardship you encounter is shaping you into a more aware, compassionate, and enlightened version of yourself. These experiences, while difficult, are part of your growth, guiding you closer to your true self. Embrace these truths with an open heart and mind, knowing that each step forward, no matter how painful or confusing, is a necessary part of your journey. Trust that your struggles are teaching you invaluable lessons, and that through them you are being prepared for a deeper understanding of life and your place in it. Your personal transformation does not end with you. As you continue to grow and evolve, your journey will inspire others who are walking their own paths. By embracing your own struggles with courage and grace, you become a beacon for those around you, showing them that growth is possible and that the spiritual journey, though challenging, is full of meaning and purpose.